Students, today we are going to see the risk analysis as per your syllabus. Sources of risk, project risk, competing risk, industry specific risk, market and international risk. Then risk is the probability of an event occurring that can impact your current profit level, financial situation, satisfaction and well-being. This you understood? Risk is the probability of an event occurring that can impact your current profit level, affect your profit, financial situation, that is your assets, and satisfaction and well-being. This also will be there. This also is a quality. Right? Risk can be the chance of an event turning out in a way that makes you worse off. An event has occurred, the result of that event is you become worse than before, you become poorer than before, right? Risk varies from person to person, right? Some folks are naturally more optimistic. What is that? Somebody is doing something. Some always looking for the worst possible outcome to happen, right? Everyone must decide for themselves what levels of risk they are comfortable living with. You can have more risk or you can have less risk also. This slide only tells what is risk, and then risk varies from person to person. It is up to you to take risk of what level. Clear? Profit is the price paid by the society for assuming business risk. Right? Now, cost is a constraint, scope is a constraint, time is a constraint, and then results in the quality of the product, right? Okay. Risk in business arises from product obsolescence, yesterday we said, sudden fall in price, because you lose your profit. You are making a profit if it is sold at 10 rupees, prices, everyone has reduced the price to 8 rupees, so your profit margin is reduced by 2 rupees. So your risk you are losing. Superior substitutes are available. For the same 10 rupees, a much better item is available, then your sales come down. Risk. Natural calamities, right? Scarcity of crucial materials for you to produce. All these things. Okay. One would not take a risk without expecting a compensation in excess of actual benefits. Please note, very important. That is, I will take the risk only if I get a benefit out of that. Right? Risk gives rise to disutilities of various kinds. Disutilities means I cannot make use of what I am having it. Okay. Hence, expected profit must be more than the actual risk. This is what we discussed also yesterday. Right? So, assuming risk gives you a claim to your reward, to your profit, to your benefit, in excess of the actual that you will get. Use of time, risk management. Please note risk management. This is use of time, finance, and other resources like manpower to effectively manage the risk so that goals can be achieved. Very important. Risk management, very easy. If you can think of these three, you can do the management. Manage resources so as to maintain acceptable level of risk. Right? There is a level below which you can go, above which you cannot go. That is called threshold level. This in turn should get return sufficient enough to allow the goals of the operations management achieve. Operations or management achieve. Right? This in turn should get return sufficient enough to allow the goals of the operations. Right? This will do. So, sources of risk. Again, I'm giving an example. Agricultural production. So yield quantity, that is a variable, right? If you don't produce, if the yield is less, if the yield doesn't come out, it's a risk. Marketing, changes in price, external conditions. So if you cannot sell, then it's a risk. Financial, ability to meet the cash demands. So for making the yield, you need some investment, right? So you need to go there and spend money for the laborers. All those things are required. If it is not available, then financial crunch will be there. Jargon, debt equity ratio, that is debt means kadan, equity means your capital. This debt equity ratio is there, which is not required for us to know now. If you are studying accountancy, you will know. But this is one thing is kadan, varavu kadan ratio, right? Legal responsibilities for quality, statutory compliance, and such others. These three are very important, right? Human, managing people and job transfers. Managing people and job transfers. Risk management involves choosing the best among the alternatives. Choosing the best alternative. What it will give? It will reduce the risk within the operation. And the operation risk. That is, that event will not happen. That risky event will not happen. Right? Chances of that happen is very low. Transfer the risk outside the operation. Right? You can change the operation. Increase the operation's ability to bear risk. Right? So that the item will not fall and break. Strategic plan for risk management will vary for person to person. Yeah, why? Because risk attitudes are different. I may take more risk because of my experience. You may not take any risk because of your inexperience. Right? Business goals are different. My goals are different. Your goals are different. Right? Resources base are different. I may have enough resources so I can afford to take risk. I want to spend 1,000 rupees. I will not mind. You have got only 1,500 rupees. You want to spend 1,000 rupees. It is risky for you. Yes or no? So it is an ongoing process like any production process. This management is a continuous process all the time. It is to be incorporated in each phase of the operation. So don't ask me what are all the phases of the operation. That is different. We will study in a different phase. Right? To address the risk, various aspects of business, that is operations, assessment, planning, decision making, implementations. All these operations, it will be risk management will be there, right? Now, there are two types of risk. I'm sorry, I have told you two types of risk yesterday 2 times. In both the cases, 2 different ways. What are the two? Can anyone tell me? What are the 2 different types of risk I said? Right? There are 2 types of risk. One is known risk. I told you, no, one is known to you. Another is unknown risk. Define project risk. Project specific risk is your title in the syllabus. It is a possibility of a loss or injury. It is an uncertain event or condition. I know that event and non-event. It has an effect on at least one project objective. ஏதாவது ஒன்று ஃபெயில் ஆயிடும் எல்லாம் வந்திருக்கும் ரைட் எல்லாம் நிறைய மார்க் வாங்கியிருப்பீங்க ஒரே சப்ஜெக்ட்ல மட்டும் ஃபெயில் ஆயிடுவீங்க ஓவரால் ஃபெயில் ரைட் சிஎல் அப்படிதான் இருக்கும் it focuses on identifying the risk. This is risk management. Identifying the risk, assessing the risk. Assessing the risk itself is a big chapter. Probably I will, only if time permits, I will do it. Otherwise, it's not required now. Managing the risk to minimize the impact of the project. How to manage, I have already taught you yesterday. Right? There are infinite number of events that can have a negative impact on the project. Right? Second. Right. Now, project risk is the possibility that project events will not occur as planned. Project la kudukra events la oru step anukulaya and the step la edavadhu one you cannot do it. Drilling you cannot do it because drilling machine is not available. Drilling is a process in between. Or that unplanned events will occur. Somebody has made a drill, somebody has made a mark on my screen, no? Right, like that. So that will occur, that will have a negative impact on the project. So events also make a non-event, you can also make a impact. Unplanned event also can make a risk impact. Known risks can be identified before they occur, while unknown risks are unforeseen. So define the difference between known and unknown risks. I'll tell you. a study of risk management indicate. This is, I just tell you, a survey has been made and the result of the survey is what I'm going to give you. Risk management plan is there almost for high risk projects. Only for high risk projects is certainly there. Risk management practices are always positively related to the success of the project. When you have the practices, you always have the success of the project, right? That is a finding. Risk management approaches influences the project schedule and cost goals. How? On the positive side. So if you have risk management, you can reschedule it either positive side or increase the schedule or decrease the schedule also. Sometimes if you are smart, you can reduce the schedule also. Put more manpower, reduce the risk and decrease the schedule time. Cost goals, right? If you increase the labors and do it in a less number of days, then labor cost may decrease, who knows, right? It depends upon the values of labor cost and time. So risk management approaches has less influence on project quality. Just because I am having a risk management plan, I cannot say that my quality has improved, right? Quality will not decrease, definitely, right? Good risk management indicates the likelihood of a successful project. So risk management plan is required. You have to consider risk management when you have to consider project management itself. When you are doing the project management plan, at that time, this should be one sub-plan, sub-activity of the project management plan. Because your overall subject name is project management, no? That's why I'm telling this. Potential negative project events highly likely in specific projects, or I'm giving you what are they, right? Potential negative project events, what are they? Safety risk in construction projects. Many times accidents happen in construction projects because safety precautionary measures are not followed, adhered to. Exchange rate in projects where cost may suddenly increase, phenomenally go up. You can't meet the, you would have accepted for a certain value, the value of the project might go up like anything. Changes in weather in road construction and coastal projects, right? You may not be allowed to do the project by nature. All these are all known risks. You know it is going to rain, the winter season, rainy season, you know. They can be identified and analyzed, right? You will never take up a project, road project when the rainy season starts. Advanced planning is possible in all these known cases. Understood? If you have understood, please type or say you have understood. I'm going to know. All awareness or unknown risk, you know. Describe the difference between business risk and organization and project. Business risk of the organization and project risk. Please note, I have to read it like this. Describe the difference between the business risk of the organization and project risk of the project. Whether, tell me whether it is a project risk or business organization risk. Hello? Can anyone tell me? Now, see, they have gone for a project review meeting. The meeting could not be conducted. Will the project be delayed or not?
Yes, sir.
So it is a project risk, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, sudden family death. So there are some labors. Now, just before a project meeting in Texas, the instructional design lead received a word that his father died in the middle of the night. The team delayed making decisions on the project on some critical events without the knowledge of the and judgment of the instructional designer. Now, there is a sudden change because the leader does not know what the decisions are taken. So the decision may not be what you would have taken otherwise when you was present. Now, it is affecting the project or not? Yes or no? The project lead is not there. The project is affected or not?
Yes, sir. Affected.
So project risk. Now, these events were unforeseen by the project team. And in both the cases, project experienced schedule delays and additional costs. And therefore, I'm calling these two as project risk under this situation. Understand? Okay. Now, we will see this. A project is proposed to design training for new customer management system. கஸ்டமர் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு நீங்க எல்லாம் வர வர நான் நல்லா டீச்சிங் கொடுக்கணும்னு எங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் ட்ரைனிங் கொடுக்குறாங்க உங்க இன்ஸ்டிடியூட். அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? டு கிவ் யூ ஆல் எ பெட்டர் ட்ரைனிங் by us, we are given a training by your institute. They are arranging for a training of the trainers like me. Now, tell me, this is an organizational project, right? The organizational goal. The management decides the cost not to exceed 25 million rupees. So whoever is going to train us is going to charge the management 25 million. Now, if it is completed in time within the budget and meets all the quality specifications, it is successful. That means if they have completed within 25 millions, within 1 month, and all of us have become, all of us means we trainers, have become very quality trainers to you, then it is successful. If the customer management system does not meet the needs of the organization, the organizational goals of the project may not be achieved. Please note, this is the organizational goals of this project, right? Clear? This is an organizational goal. The customer management system is an organizational risk. Organization wants this. If it is not done, it is an organizational risk, right? Now, project risks are separate from the organizational risks that are associated with the business purpose of the project, right? So organizational risk, this is for the business purpose, this is an organizational risk. I hope you know the difference between project risk and organizational risk. Understand? Clear? Can I go to the next slide? Okay. The company authorized the project based on assumptions about the system meeting their needs, company needs. So this system's capability, our capability is improved or not improved is not a question now when I start teaching you, because this is separately going on. Okay. Now, summary. Project risk is the possibility that project events will not occur as planned, right? Project risk na project events will not occur as planned, or unplanned events will occur. Unplanned events will occur, and both will have a negative impact on the project. It will give you only threat, not opportunities. Known risks can be identified before they occur. Unknown risks are unforeseen. We do not know when they will occur. Organizational risks are associated with the business purpose of the project and assumed by the client when deciding to the project, when deciding to do the project. Organizational risks are associated with the business purpose of the project, right? Not with the project itself, specific project by itself. Now, competing risk. What is competing risk, right? Competitive risk is what is specified in your syllabus, but I know what is competing risk. So I will tell you about competing risk. Competitive risk, if it is different, I will teach you later. Otherwise, we will come to know what is competing risk now. Competing risk analysis refers to a special type of survival analysis that aims to correctly estimate marginal probability of an event in the presence of competing events. Marginal probability. You know what is a marginal probability? An extra probability over something else, right? I have two problems. My risk may result, impact may be because of one risk which has got a marginal probability, more probability than the other one, right? I will tell you with the health problem. Competing risk analysis refers to a special type of survival analysis that aims to correctly estimate the probability of an event in the presence of competing events. Do not have to remember what it is, what it means and all. I'll give you an example. How it is solved, it is by chi-squared test. Chi-squared test means you got different, like I have a cancer, I have some other problem also, ulcer also. Suddenly I die. There is a sportsman, he suddenly dies. He may die because he is running fast, or he may die because of heart attack, right? So these two are competing risk. We will see what is competing event and competing risk. A patient can die from breast cancer or from stroke, but he cannot die from both. So one is competing with other. So he dies one because of the marginal probability of breast cancer or the stroke. Similarly, a breast cancer patient may die after surgery before they can develop a hospital infection. So he may die because of hospital infection, he may die because of cancer, because of surgery, or even before surgery because of infection. These two are competing risk, right? Competing events. Surgery is taking place, admission has taken place, right? Both are competing events. Understood? A soldier may die during a combat. Combat means during fighting or in a traffic accident, right? Which one is, this is a competing risk. So traffic also is a risk and fighting also is a risk, right? These two are competing risks. I hope you understood what is competing risk, right? There are two events causing two impacts. Whichever impact is higher, the result may be because of that impact. That is called competing risk. Understood? There are more than one pathway that a subject can fail. Failure can occur only once for each subject without considering recurring. Again and again, you don't die, right? Like that, when there are events, when they are not recurring, that means that happens only once. Building means again and again, it will not fail. Once it crumbles, that's all. It has reached its death. Failures caused by different pathways or mutually, this is more important term, mutually exclusive events or competing risk. Competing risk or competing events which are mutually exclusive, and therefore they are called competing events. So industry specific. Now hazard that applies only to a particular company, right? Gas company, right? Gas industries, petroleum industries, and then battery industries, right? Wherever they are using chemicals, chemical industries. So it is the opposite of overall market risk or systematic risk. Market risk, we call it as a systematic risk. I will come to it little later. Why market risk is called systematic risk also I will tell you in the next slide probably. Clear? So specific risk is also referred to as unsystematic risk or diversifiable risk. Specific risk also is referred to as, that is industry specific. Diversity, this can be two different reasons. Profitability of insurance companies. Writing, this you may not understand, but anyway I'll try to teach you because you are all engineers, right? Writing deferred fixed rate annuities, that is they are considering deferred fixed rate annuities. They are postponing that, deferring. Deferring means postponing. More heavily they are impacted by a large shifts up or down. That is, when you are deferred, that at that time, whatever is interest rate, I will pay you. At that time, if it is 20%, then you are losing. Understand? So I have to pay you 10% now, but I will say that no, I will pay you this interest rate as it is on next month. But next month, if the interest rate becomes 20%, then I lose, right? Therefore, these are all specific to these industries, right? Losses due to factors that affect the overall performance of the financial markets in which he or she is in. This is an international risk, right? Market risk, also called systematic risk, cannot be eliminated through diversification. That is, you are going to put it in the market, no? You put it in this share or another share. Market rate is gone down. So you don't reduce the risk by putting it in another share, right? When the whole market rate is low. So it can be hedged against another ways. There can be another ways called hedging. These are all accounting terms. We need not know is, but all I need to tell you is there are alternate methods. Do not put an investment in this itself. Try to put your investment on your own business. Take it away from the shares, right? That is what it means, right? Take it away from that field, put it in another field, right? So international risk. Value of an investment will decrease due to changes in market factors. Market risk is called systematic risk because it relates to factors such as recession, the impact of the entire market. Therefore, it is called systematic. The recession comes systematically. Every time you have recession, inflation, right? So systematically it comes and goes. So international risk, foreign exchange risk, currency value fluctuations, it is an example. Political risk, Political risk, you know very much. They may put in law. Suddenly they will put, you should not deal with this country, right? Stop the treaties with them. There is no more bilateral treaties with you. Operating on a global scale also is we do not know because it is new to you. You have been used to operating in a local scale. Suddenly you go and sell it in a higher states or another states or another countries. Then it is a different issue altogether. You'll have to be prepared for that. Human rights violations, probably your employees may be kidnapped. Who knows? When they were traveling outside, they may be caught. Politically, they may be caught. Right? Threat of kidnapping of overseas employees or traveling abroad. Then international risk continues. Please note, I will give you almost 6 more reasons. Credit risk. The credit, you know what is my credit? You purchase on credit, no? Letter of credit they give, banks give letter of credit. So these are all accounting terms. Will not go deep into it. Intellectual property risk, third party can use it. Or they may say that they're right, they have got already IPR registered with in their country. So foreign exchange risk, foreign exchange may fluctuate. Your currency may be appreciated or may be depreciated. Ethics risk. So you follow certain rules, they may not follow those rules. What is good rules for you may be bad rules for them. Like driving, you have a right hand driving, they have a left hand driving. You go along the left side, they go along the right side, right? Shipping risk. So you all these products are going to be shipped only, right? So there may be controls in the shipping cost. And country and political risk. The country itself may be a risk. According to Hawley, perspectives of risk. This is another topic, perspectives of risk, which I have already told you. Profit has 2 parts, compensation for causes of risk and inducement to suffer consequences of the risk, right? These two I have explained yesterday. One is what causes the risk, you have to be compensated. What are all the consequences of the risk, you have to be compensated. And then it continues, perspectives of risk. Profit is a reward not for risk bearing but risk avoiding. There is no direct relation. Owner does not bear the risk as risk can be transferred, shared. Monopoly, innovation are all not included. These are all perspectives I have concluded. And example I have given. This example is little difficult to follow. Maybe I can tell you one thing. This the plant, you know, they are genes they are mixing, right? Trans genes they call it. And then there is a thing called hybrids. So this hybrid is bad. Bad means it may lead to white plants. So, and I'll read the statement. In recent years, this has, whatever they do, that is transgenes, gives rise to several studies estimating hybridization rates and the fitness of crop-wild relative hybrids. Crop-wild means wild crops. So hybridization, however, is not synonymous to introgression, that is transgenes, and questions remain as to particular transgenes will cause ecologically significant changes in recipient plant populations. I made this mainly to say that it is confusing, right? I'll put it in simple terms. There are 2 variables. If you put one variable, it will have an impact. If you put another variable, it will have an impact. But if you put 2 variables, it will have a different impact. Understand? Therefore, whether you will go for this variable 1 alone or variable 2 alone or the combination of variable 1 and variable 2. So the problems become complex, right? So this will involve a combination of manipulative experiments. When I say manipulative experiments, with only time factor or with only labor factor or with both time factor and labor factor. And in all these cases, we will have mathematical models, and that is what I call it as a perspectives of risk, right? I cannot complete a project in time. So time is a main resource, main risk now. But in order to reduce the time, in order to complete the project in time, what I've got 2 options. One is increase the labor, right? Or have the same labor and increase the time of operation per day. Or have both. Therefore, you have multiple complex situations to select from. Understood? Clear? You need not understand the first two paragraphs, which you can go through at leisure time when you are going through the video. But all I that want to tell you is that variables are there. Variable have separate impacts. Together they have impacts. So you have to have a combination of study. Complex study is there. Therefore, empirically motivated mathematical models are there. Right? Clear? So risk assessment and risk management is not an easy task. It's a simple task if you know how to do it. That's all. What are all the factors? You must have a thorough knowledge of the situation of the project. Understood? If you have any doubt, right? Now, risk analysis. Today's topic started now only. When we analyze the risk, we are examining methodically in detail. Why? Avoid any potential litigations. Otherwise, what will happen? We'll end up in a litigation, regulatory issues, or comply with new legislation. Reduce our exposure and minimize the impact of any risk. Otherwise, the impact of the risk will be more, right? So we have to minimize the impact of the risk. Much of the information available are complex and intimidating. As I told you, the information available are more. They're confused, right? We don't know which information to take, how to make use of it. Right? Risk, but informations are available, but all the risks have happened in all the projects. We know we have got the data available. On some projects, it is done to the nth degree. Example, you are sending a rocket to the moon with astronauts. So where you will do the risk management to the nth degree. In sometimes you may not do any risk management at all. So it is not done at all because you feel like they don't have any risk at all. See, my teaching to you, there is no risk at all. Because I'll just go ahead and then show you the recording, you can go through that. So you can't say anything. Please, you have to go through that record again. You have to understand. It is only up to you to reduce the risk. Right? So I don't do anything. I just teach, I put the recording, there ends my job. For you, the risk management starts. Where and when the risk analysis is done? Where is it done? As the project, please B is there is one T is missing here. As the project management process groups, the planning process is where, at the project management process groups, the planning process is where we start looking for the risk. So project management plan, when we are doing at that time itself, this planning process also starts. It is done through the entire project starting from there. Develop our risk management plan. What is that? Identify the risk, and those are captured in our risk register, note down in the risk register, so that it is known to everyone. This risk is considered, right? So qualitative risk analysis. We will see qualitative risk analysis. Now there are two risk analysis, qualitative and quantitative risk analysis. There is a difference between qualitative risk analysis and quantitative risk analysis. I'll just pause for a few. Now, qualitative risk analysis, every threat and opportunity will be further looked at for quality of data available and risk probability, right? All the risk will be put in this tabular form. I have given the probability of that event to occur. So you can find out now what is the probability of event to occur. Now, can you tell me what is the probability of raining in summer? What is the probability of raining in summer? Less, 10%. Am I right? What is the probability of raining in rainy season? 90%. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? Therefore, you can fix the probability of occurrence of any event with little data or with little experience. Right? And the impact I give a mark. Ordinal marks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If the impact is very severe, I give a mark of 5. If the impact is significant, 4. If it is negligible, it is 1. So this also we can give once I know the impact, right? See, now you are getting a mark between 90 and 95. The effect is negligible. Am I correct? Yes or no? You are getting a mark between 30 and 40 is severe. Will fail, right? Therefore, for any risk, the impact of the risk can be graded as negligible to severe, right? This is okay? Is this possible? Understood? The impact of the risk can be negligible or very severe. I delay the project by 1 day. Customer gives me a warning and accepts the project. So it is a negligible risk, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now I delay the project by 1 week. Then what happens? The customer puts me a penalty of 50%. Is it severe or not? Yes or no? Tell me.
Sir, severe.
Severe, because I'm losing money heavily. I'm not losing anything here, negligible. Therefore, my delay by 5 days, the impact is severe, yes or no? My delay by 1 day, the impact is negligible, yes or no? So I can gradually put the marks ranking for, not ranking, I'll say ranking later on. Now, this rate, I'll put here number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lower number to higher number. For severity, high number. For negligible effect, impact, I'll put lowest number. Understood? This much is understood? புரிஞ்சுதா இது வரைக்கும்?
Yes, sir.
ஒரு நாள்ல முடிச்சானாக்கா அவன் ஒத்துக்கிறான், போனா போறது ராம்கி 1 day பரவாயில்லன்ட்டு. அதே 10 நாள் டிலே ஆனானாக்கா 10% டிடெக்ட் பண்ணிடுறான் பேமெண்ட்ல இருந்து. அப்போ அது சிவியரா இல்லையா எனக்கு? ரைட்? 1 லட்சத்துல 10,000 போயிடுது, 1 மில்லியன்ல 10 lakhs போயிடுது, ரைட்? 10 மில்லியன்னா 10 lakhs போயிடுது, ரைட்? ஓகே. Therefore, this severity நம்ம இம்பாக்ட் வச்சுட்டு 1 2 3 4 5 போடுறோம். ஆர்டினல் மார்க்கிங் பேர் இது பேரு, ரைட்? ஆர்டினல், right? And then this one probability, this continuous data, I'm putting it here, 1 to 20, 81 to 100 is a probability here. Now, in the probability, like 81 to 100% probability is there, and if it is a negligible impact, then this will be low risk, right? So if it is in this range, probability is low, even though severity is high, because it is not at all occurring, it is again a minimum risk only, right? Minimum risk. So similarly, for high risks, high very extreme risk, that is, if the probability is also more for the event to occur and the impact also is very severe, then I have to consider it as a fact. It is not risk management. It is not no more a risk management. It is your project management, right? Understand? இதெல்லாம் ரிஸ்க்லாம் இல்லடா, இது நிஜமாவே அக்கறை போறது. It is going to happen, so take action. Clear? So any risk with a probability of over 80% will be treated as a fact and will be included in the project management plan and not in the risk management plan. Risk management plan is a sub-plan, right? So project management plan is a main plan. Therefore, we have to include this extreme risk cases in this project management plan, right? Vandale, you have to consider this, right? And here it is, okay, low risk, RMP you can consider. Understood? Understood? Punjida?
Yes, sir.
Right, I'll just show it in the Excel sheet also. The same thing I'll show it. See, this is what I have put here, right? I have put the same thing. You can put, say, probability is P is probability, and then this is impact, right? Now I'll put this as probability is 0.7, and then this I'll put it as 3. Now tell me, this is medium or minimum, moderate risk or high risk or extreme risk? Tell me. Tell me, what is this? This is moderate risk or what risk? Probability of event occurring is 70%. That is 0.7, right? Impact is 3, moderate. Therefore, the risk is a moderate risk or minimum risk or high risk or extreme risk.
Moderate, sir.
Moderate. Why? Because probability is here in this range, right? And then This impact is 3. Therefore, this one is coming here. This is the moderate. Clear? So you can do problems, right? So I will say the probability of occurrence of an event, the impact of an event. You can immediately say where I should include this in the plan, risk management plan, or this thing. Now I'll tell you one thing, one more problem. I'll give you this is 0.85. 83 I'll put, and this is significant. Impact is significant. Now tell me if this plan will be a risk management plan or project management plan.
Risk management.
No, please see here. This is coming here. 81 to 100. And the significant is here. This is severe. Extreme risk. Clear? Okay. Now you can say that risk management plans with top priority, which is nothing but project management plan. Because it all differs. It's only as management, no? So I will not say that you are wrong, right? Okay. You got it? Can I go to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Now, quantitative risk. We will see quantitative risk now. 3-point estimate, that is most likely, pessimist, right? Optimist. These are the 3 levels. Your green belt students also will know what are the 3 levels, -1, 0, +1, like this. To determine the best estimate. So you find out the impact, see the result, accordingly decide which one you will go through. Decision tree analysis. This is what if analysis, a diagram that shows the implications of choosing one or the other alternatives. Expected monetary value, a method used to establish the contingency reserve for a project, budget, and schedule. Right? Expected. I will discuss this now. Now, Monte Carlo analysis, it's a simulation techniques. I will come to it a little later. A technique that uses optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic, whatever you have discussed here, to determine the total project cost and project completion dates, using distributions, using known distribution, applicable distribution. For example, we could estimate the probability of completing a project at a cost of 20 million. What is the probability we are finding? Or what is the company wanted to have an 80% probability of achieving its cost objectives? What is the cost to achieve 80% probability? This, either this can be done or this can be done using simulation analysis, right? Sensitivity analysis. We will do this. I will explain you with an Excel sheet. A technique used to determine which risks have the greatest impact on the project. Right? I will give an example with the Excel sheet now. Fault tree analysis. The analysis of a structured diagram which identifies elements that can cause the system failure. If this and this and this events occur, you will have the failure. If this, that and that event occurs, you will have successful completed project. So likewise, the events will be marked in a decision tree like only. It is more like a decision tree, right? It is a fault tree. Now, quantitative risk analysis example. Let us look at a simplified expected monetary value example. EMV. Risk include both threats and opportunities. Threats have adverse impacts on cost. Opportunities or benefits that reduce cost. Expected monetary value is equal to probability into impact. What we have seen here, expected. Now here, risk. This is risk A. This is risk B. This is risk C. Now this has an opportunity, probability 0.4, cost is 10,000. Probability 0.2, and here threat probability is 0.3 for C. Now expected monetary value is multiply these two and total it, right? So you are subtracting this opportunity from the threats, 31,000, right? So notice we subtracted the benefit of the opportunity from the expected monetary value. The total EMV represents the project risk exposure. You will be given a problem. If I were you, I may test you with this problem. And the amount of our contingency reserve. So you have to keep a contingency reserve. You keep this amount exclusively for this project. Understood? Clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, once you have understood, you'll have to do something. That is what is there. We will see. You have to update the risk register, right? Additional risk information, you have to keep it. Now, sensitivity analysis. In a business scenario, we want to look at different combinations. So, sensitivity analysis, what I will do is, since there is no time available now, I will just go through this example. And then what I will do is, sensitivity analysis, chairs sold, 1000. Price is 150 rupees per chair. Cost of the chair is 50 rupees. So this is fixed cost. 10,000 and 50,000 are two fixed costs. So profit and loss statement, revenue is 1000 into 150 and cost is 1000 into 50. So I got it, cost and revenue. The gross profit I have found out minus the fixed cost 60,000. I'm deducting, I'm just getting the operating profit. Now what we will do is, we will construct the, what I will do is, I'll go to this. Now here, this is a thing. I will make a list here, Control C, I'll put here, Control V here. So I have put this 500, 700, 1000, and then I'll put this different cost price, Control C, Control V. Clear? Now what I will do is, this is price. This is price. I will remove this. This is charge sold, Control V, and this is price, Control X, I'll put Control V. Now I will delete this. Right. Now what I'm going to do is, see, charge sold is 1000. I have made it as 500, 750. Suppose the sales may decrease or sales may increase. So I want to find out the sensitivity analysis. And the price, I can increase the price or decrease the price. This also is the thing. Now what will happen is, this is a calculation, no? So I will put here equal to this value. So this is the value for this scenario. I want to get the values for all these scenarios, right? So what I will do is, I select this table, right? And then I'll go to data. Are you seeing it? And then what if analysis, I'll go to data table, right? Input row on this is what the input row. Yes or no? And then output row, I go there, I'll go click and then select this row, this column, right? And then I'll put OK. Input cell reference is not valid. Okay. Okay, what I will do is, this one is, I'll put OK. I'll just go to what if analysis, data table, and then I'll put here this one, right? And then here I'll put price. So I put the input cell reference is cost, number of chairs sold, and then column input reference is price per chairs. So I'll put OK, right? So I got it now. I got it, the results. So it is doing for all the chairs sold and then whatever is the prices. Now, suppose if I'm keeping the prices as 125 and if I'm able to sell this 1000 rupees, I can get 90,000 will be my operating profit. So if it is possible, you can sell at 1,250 and reduce the price, right? You can go for 150 rupees. This is the same price. If you can sell it at 1,250, if you can sell 1,250 numbers of chairs, I can afford to decrease the price by 125 rupees because there again I will get 33,750. No, I cannot decrease the price because already I'm getting 40,000. Why should I get 33,750 less? Therefore, I have to have 150 and then 1,000 chairs. This is 40,000 rupees. The benefit is the current scenario. If I reduce the number of chairs sold and increase the price, I can get these values. From this, you can do a selection. Sensitivity analysis is done like this. Okay, you got it? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, students, we are doing scenario analysis. I am having different products, game 1, game 2, and each product is selling at a price of this much. And for different months, what is the number of sales I put? So total items sold is given here. And then yearly total sales for each item is obtained here. This what is the formula I am giving? This is equal to nothing but equal to sum of, right? This to this month to this, right? Multiplied by the price. That's all I'm putting. So 4,095, I'm getting it, right? This is what I'm getting here. I'm just copying, pasting it. I'll get for all the things, right? Right? You get it. And then you have to sum it up equal to sum of all the things. Sum of all these things is the total sales. Clear? How I got this? Now here, I'm going to go for a scenario analysis. What I will do is, I'll go there to data, select scenario analysis, scenario manager. I have put it as a current here. Now I'm going to add a scenario. I'm going to add a scenario, right? Scenario name I'll put it as March scenario, right? March scenario. Now I'm going to have this sales in March changed, right? Okay, changing sales is what? March sales. Am I correct? So I have to select this. Clear? So I have selected March sales. I put OK. Right? Now here, what is the value of the changing sales? Scenario, I have to sell. I will put it as March sales. This is March. I'll put everything is as, so 11. 11 is the lowest. I'll keep everything is 11. Right? I'm putting it as 11. 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 And I have not changed it here now. So I'll change that also. So this also I'll change 11. I'll change 11. I'll change 11. I said, okay. Right. Now I'm going to show the results. Right. See here, March scenario result is shown. They changed to 46,497 only. So if you want to know the previous case, current sales, I'll go to this and show. Right. This one. Clear? So for 100 sales throughout, I'll go for the worst scenario. I'll go to this worst scenario. That is, I'll show it here. I'll ask it to show. See, I've sold only 20, 20, 20 and all. Then this is the one. Right? Now what I will do is I'll close this. Now what I will do is here. So I've changed 11, 1, 1. I have not entered properly. That's why. Right? If I want, I can now edit it. So what I will do is I'll just go there. What if analysis, scenario manager. I'll go to March scenario and then I'll go to edit. This one, I'll put it OK and then OK. This one I put 11, 1, select 1 and this will also change to 1, 1. So now I'll OK. Now show. See, it's a change. Everything has become, March has become. So you can change the scenario for different sales, for different price also I will do it. That is called goal seeking. I will do it. Now you have understood?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Thank you very much. I think I'll stop here because